You know, I talk about all the time, one of the things that we phrase is the oh shit factor. And, you know, that is when the player feels like he's made the mistake. If I design a game that, you know, the player feels like the game's cheating him, it's toast. Right? The magic is to let the player feel like he's the one making the mistake. And it's all about, you're challenging yourself, not this game challenging you that this game's trying to beat me. No, can you beat the game? And it's all about you. You know, so I'm always looking at all of it. You know, my guys are always feeding me, what about this game? So, you know, it's nonstop, and you try to take a minute and pick the right stuff at the right time, right? And hope you get lucky.
So ICE got started back in 1982. For the first couple of years, it was a one-trick pony. It was Chexx bubble hockey, and Chexx went through an incredible beginning, and the Super Chexx took off, but that was quickly followed up a few years later with very difficult times. They tried to take the Chexx bubble hockey and turn that into a soccer game, which was a struggle. At no point in time in the first couple of years did my father think that this was going to be a long-term career opportunity. I think it wasn't, honestly, until he was 6-7 years into it that he said, I can really turn this into a job and really make a living out of this. But it was a very humble beginning and a very different beginning. And again, I'll go back to the principles of my father, and it was very important to him on all these different levels, just getting to know people, spending time at locations, and again, getting to really learn the operation and how we at ICE can bring value to those operations.
When I started back in 1993, obviously Super Chexx was the big deal. It always has been, and we were just coming into the basketball being a real big thing at the time and staffing up for that. Cyclone was the mind blower. It came in, we were doing up to almost 30 units a day. We were in a very small garage in a corner intersection shop, and we moved here in 1996, and we were an old school mom and pop shop that blew up really fast, and now we have, you know, just over 200 people, and the place has grown so fast and come so far from our humble beginnings back in '93.
When I look around our building today and see over 200 people, I remember when I started, there were 3 other people that worked in the factory with me. So very, very different from where we are here today. 200,000 square feet of manufacturing space and running at any given time 25 to 35 different product lines.
You know, for us in Coin-Op, it's about just doing something different, giving somebody an experience out of their house with their friends that they can't get at home. Whether there's video, it's electromechanical, there's just another game that's going to be unique that you got to go to the arcade to play.
Any given game, right, it starts on a piece of paper that drew it, like, okay, I like this, let's see what can we do with this. See it from a piece of paper or just a small rendering to become a game in front of you. It's like, oh my God, this is great. And we contribute to it. You know, it goes through my Woodshop and my guys program the parts and then put it together and ship it, right?
We do it all here. One-stop shop, from the graphics to the planning to the all of it is done here. This is the world of pure imagination. It's the Wonka factory.
You know, we have an incredible tenure of people where you come into ICE, you start making games, you don't want to do anything else. It's a lifestyle. I've got a great example of one of the first carnival games. I'm driving down the street and I see these milk jugs, and the guy's got 3 milk jugs. He's got plants in them. He's just selling them for, you know, my wife to plant in the garden, right? And I pull over and are you selling these? Can I take all 3 of these? And I remember coming back and telling the guys, take this over to Dymar and drill a hole in the bottom, and I get one of those yellow jug balls. I'm like, I want to play milk jug and see how that feels. And we throw at it like, wow, that's harder than we thought. You know, and then we start playing, I need something else. Let's do a secondary game. And it just starts to evolve, and we just play around like kids here. Like you're in the backyard making a game, and then once we know we have something that feels fun, then we start to refine it and start to build it up. You know, for me, there's stages in there, you know, where we think we have it figured out. We build it in the shop, and I'll put it out when software's not done because I want the feedback, because the players, they're the ones who I'm really making it for.
I mean, just going to an arcade and looking at the kids, like looking at these games like with the joy on their face. and they say, oh, we built that game, you know what I mean? So this gives us joy, and that's what we like about the industry. Every game is different. Every game is built differently, so we cannot have machine build it. So everything is like unique to itself. And we build around 160 games right now per week.
When I left the wood shop and I came into operations, I'll never forget Ralph calling me and saying, we're at a trade show, we've just sold 1,000 Wheel of Fortunes, and you gotta build 20 a day. How fast can I have them? Okay, here we go, game on, right? And that was that moment that I just felt the energy that, wow, we're gonna make magic here. You know, you give me a problem, I'm gonna solve it, you know. There's a hurdle, I'm gonna jump over it, and it's who we are.
It's such a deep level from the ownership all the way down. People really do put a lot of care and a lot of love into what they do. It's almost like cooking a recipe, you know, their hands are in it and the quality's there and it speaks for itself.
We have a lot of people in this building, people that have been with us 20, 30 plus years. Those people are really what make ICE who we are today. As much as we've had some great products over the years that have helped take us to new levels, I will always come back to it's the people and their passion and their approach. Again, I think that goes back to the early days where my father really went out of his way to make people a priority.
I mean, the owners care about us, and we do the same for everybody else. And it is both ways.
It is going to be challenging for so many of us at our age now to replace, you know, the next level of echelon. Who's going to replace all of us? That'll be the challenge.
We are always looking to train people to replace ourselves, right, and evolve the company. And that's really what Ralph did with us, right? We grew up with him, and he treated us like we owned it, you know, from day one. And, you know, I think that's important to me, giving my people trust that let's go out and make something awesome. For me, I'm only as good as my last game, what we produce as a team here. And so we're always looking for the challenge. What's next? What can we do? How do we better ourselves every time? I think that's just the personal challenge of making games.
I feel that the industry will continue to evolve and grow, and it'll go in a lot of different directions. But I believe at the end of the day, our industry is ageless, it's timeless. People want to go out, they want to be social.
Look, I think it's not about one game. It's not about one genre. It's about going out and enjoying yourself with your friends. That's really what it comes down to, right? As we've put everybody in these damn phones and social, we've trapped them to this individual moment here by themselves. The arcade allows them to go out and be with their friends again.
The home station games, they come and go. You know, every year it's the new one, where our games are a physical presence of joy. You know, you can actually go and touch it and feel it and hear it. And it has a unique entity all of its own.
Honestly, that's the magic, right? When you see a group of kids going to arcade and like tapping each other, come on, come play this one, and then playing repeat, and then watching you see if they come back. That's just, there's no better feeling when you see that kid come back and play it once, twice. 10 minutes later he's back, you're like, all right, we got him. And that's the game.